Welcome back to More Sip the Tally. And with draft season coming up, draft is later on this week, 2 days from today. Today is Tuesday, even though I'm recording this another day, but you know how we do it over here. It's Tuesday. So draft in 2 days, and I brought a special guy in to talk about draft. And in fact, let me just bring him on in, then I'll tell him the story of More Sip the Tally. What up, Botch?
Botch on board in the picture. Volume. Perfect. What's good, y'all? Appreciate you having me on, Coach, man. Talk to me. Tell me the story.
Love it. So, over here at More Sip the Tally, we are not – More Sip the Tally is the side piece. We are not pertaining to one single relationship.
Love those.
At More Sip the Tally, the slogan is we're for the streets. We ain't in no committed relationship. The ring comes off. Everything goes down over here at More Sip the Tally. More Sip the Tally is like exactly. City boys up 1,000 over here.
I got you.
So More Sip the Tally is what happens in Vegas. Because you know what happens in Vegas?
You stay there.
Stays in Vegas. So this is for all 32 NFL teams. This draft content over here, it ain't gonna stop. It's year round. Even when the season going on, we may throw a draft in there from now and then because we are for everybody. So with that being said, that's kind of similar to what you transform into after Cowboy season over.
I belong to everybody, yeah, for sure. 1%.
So I just wanted to bring you in and talk a little bit about this draft and some players that you like and whatnot. And I got a few questions, and that'll kind of lead our conversation. All right. So the premise of this is you're the GM. I'm kind of put you on the spot a little bit. And you got your defense. We're gonna start on the defensive side.
Okay.
You have 4-3 cover 2 defense. That's what you like to run.
4-3 cover 2.
That's your bread and butter. That's what you're good at. That's what you know how to teach. Give me your defensive end. You put in 4-3 cover 2. And and the reason I'm asking because it ain't necessarily who we would think the best defensive end is.
Sure.
It's who would fit that.
Just who I pick. Just anybody in the draft.
On you. You the GM. You the GM of your guy. And you got everybody on the board.
And it got to be a defensive end, just the first end off the board, just 4-3.
Oh, we're gonna work to the middle.
It got to be Will Anderson then, because I say this all the time. I'm said on your show also. I said on your show last year. You're gonna build your board based on who you are. You either gonna be floor guy or you ceiling guy. Right? How do you like to coach? How do you like to develop? Are you one of those coaches that look at a kid and be like, man, he could be this if I go X, Y, and Z? Or are you one of those coaches? Are you one of those talented dudes that go, hey, I want to know exactly what you can do right now. I don't want to gamble and roll the dice in the bathroom thinking that you can do this. And when you get there, you can't, but you do something else. It's just too many variables for me. So when I see Will Anderson, I know what Will Anderson can do right now. Right? There may be some other guys that have a higher ceiling that could be better than Will Anderson. They could be all pros, but they could be trash. I know that Will Anderson, fresh out the box, if we just talking about job security right now, Will Anderson is a dude that I know, hey, man, he may not be a Hall of Fame, but I know he could play. I know he can start. I know that the worst he can possibly be is a starting strong side defensive end in this National Football League. If he can be better than that, cool. Assuming that we're running even fronts, 4-3s on pass rushing downs. If I draft me another end later on that's a little more bendy, cool. I can put Will Anderson in B gap and let him work upfield doing that. So it's a lot of different things I can do with him. And if that's how I'm building my team and that's my scheme, I'm running with Will Anderson because he's the highest floor. Plus, I feel like, hey, he's football smart. So I can teach him some different roles. If we ever fire my DC and we go to odd fronts, I feel like he can do some, not a whole bunch of dropping back in coverage and things like that. But hey, if you want to, be an edge rush or something like that, do a little bit of 4-hour work. He's good in the run game. He can do all those things. So I'm taking Will Anderson.
You're rushing in. Now, sliding into the interior. We're going to take the obvious choice out.
Oh,
we're going to take the obvious choice out, which is Jalen Carter.
Okay, cool.
3 tech or 1. Who you got?
Mazi Smith. Mazi Smith from Michigan.
Now, that's interesting you say Mazi because when I was doing my D-line stuff, I got to Mazi, and I remember you being high on Mazi.
Yes.
Convince me because I didn't see it.
So if Mazi's going to be playing 1 tech for me, that's my role for him. Okay. And I just want to be clear here. I'm not talking about Mazi like he close to Jalen Carter. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes my, my level of excitement is just, it's just what it is with this draft. Like if Mazi was in the Quentin Williams draft or the Derrick Brown draft, I'm still not talking about Mazi and them. If he was up there with Kinlaw and them, I'm not talking about Mazi. I'm talking about them guys, right? But just Mazi in this draft is Mazi versus Kancey. I'll slightly go Mazi. Mazi versus Benton. I'm going Mazi. If it's Mazi versus, Ika, Kobe Turner, I'm going Mazi, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I like about Mazi is, we just talking about even fronts now. Now I do think that his team sometimes put him in situations where he had to be a true zero sometimes, and that ain't really the role I want for him. But if I'm running this team even front, and he could be a penetrating one tech for me, right? Yep. He's athletic enough. He can move around a little bit. And what I do like about him is that with that size, and he is powerful. He is a powerful character. Yes. He's a dude that plays with power. One thing that you have to do is you have to figure out what your biases are, and you kind of got to figure out, okay, is this a healthy bias or is this an unhealthy one, right? And one of my biases, in which I haven't figured out whether it's healthy or not, is I don't like the D tackle that moves around really well but doesn't show power, right? Because I'm a Cowboys fan and I've had 3 techs on my team, Neville Gallimore, to where it just really didn't work out for him. He was a great pass rush, but it just didn't work out for him. Okay, so let's put 25 pounds on him and make him 350. Oh, now he's 315 pounds and he moves well, but he's still not that powerful guy. So baseline, I want my one tech, just like I like my guards. I know we're gonna touch that at some point. I need this baseline of power that makes me go, okay, now what else do you have? And Mazi, compared to those other dudes, he has size and he has power. Now you ain't Quentin Williams, but let me figure out what the rest of you can do. What else you can do with this power and this baseline size, and he can move. So I'm not saying Mazi's a first round pick or anything like that. He'll probably go in the 30s, late 30s, mid 40s or something like that. That makes sense for him.
You threw a name out there that makes me think that you wouldn't. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you like him, but not for this situation. And that's Kancey.
Yeah. So Kancey is. And listen, man, why we always got to go to the best possible example of what this dude could? Why we gotta go straight to Aaron Donald? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why we gotta go straight? Why we can't be like Kyle Vandenbosch or something? You know what I mean? Why we can't be
just because he played the same position and he from Pitt? Everybody throw Aaron Donald, and it ain't fair to the kid. It's not fair to the kid, especially with his weight.
Kancey can play though, but if I'm the one that's talent evaluating, or let's just say somebody drafted Kancey for me and I had to figure out what to do with him, I would make him my left side defensive end if that's what I'm going to do with him. Because if he's going to be 280 playing in it, playing inside, I got questions, right? How are you gonna, if you're going to be an even front, how are you going to make the adjustments when the offense makes adjustments, right? Because it's 2 ways to do it. If you're going to be a 3 tech, you either going to be a 3 tech on both sides, or if they shift, you just going to go to A gap.
Yep.
I don't want Kancey nowhere. I barely want him a B gap. So I don't want you nowhere near A gap, right? So I'm going to have to be a defense that makes you the left and the right 3 tech if we're going to make the adjustments to the offensive, movement or whatever. So if I got Kancey, I know he is explosive. Sometimes I know, he goes crazy getting upfield with his pads. Sometimes, but boy, it's other times I look at Kansas and be like, boy, Aaron Donald would never let that happen to him. You know what I'm saying? Boy, Kyle Vandenbosch would never let that happen to him. So I do think Kansas is a good player, but I do think he's being a bit overhyped right now. And I like a baseline level of size and strength, Now, if you're a 3 tech, a B gap player, then you're going to be asked to do different things than a 1 tech is. So Mazi being in the 325s, 330s or something, that makes sense for him. But if you're a B gap player, I at least need you like what, coach? Like 306 at least?
At least.
You know what I mean?
Because you're getting double teamed almost every play.
He 280, and centers are supposed to be the small dude on your line, and they typically bigger than 280. Yep. You know what I mean? Tyler Linderbaum came in small and he 299.
And the thing is, I ain't believing Linderbaum because of weight.
Yeah.
But that son, his footwork, his technique, that wrestling background, that son gonna dog.
Yeah.
And just wait. And I use your term when discussing Linderbaum. Wait till he get his grown man body.
Yeah, grown man body gonna be good for Linderbaum. It's gonna be good for Linderbaum. But shoot, Kancey don't wrestle. Kancey don't wrestle. So he need to figure out something. He need to go call Vince McMahon or something.
If I'm the offensive coordinator and Kansas is 3, and if they bump their front when I slide, I'm bumping my front to make him the 1 every time.
Yep.
And running right at him.
100%.
All right, let's move on to linebackers. And now this is a group this year that I personally didn't have a lot of
Favorite guys.
Right. Really didn't even want to watch them that much because it wasn't nobody that just kind of jumped out to me. But who do you like at I'm gonna say Mike in this group?
Okay. And look, 100% with you. I hate linebackers, but you got to be special. So with the linebacker position, I need to hear some rumors. Like, hey, Vash, you need to go watch Miles Jack, man. He's something else. Then I'll go watch Miles Jack and I'll fall in love with Miles Jack. So I typically hate linebackers, man, but Dion Henley makes me apologize. Dion Henley from Washington State, man, he makes me apologize to linebackers, boy, because I love when you can see it, you can get there quickly, right? Because a lot of times with linebackers, man, it's one or the other. You either read it, if you want to, if you're one of the white kids or something like that, you can either read it real good, but you don't get that fast. Like them Josie Jewell characters that can't miss, or you're the Parsons type, right? Because Parsons doesn't have great mental processing. He misses, but he get that fast. And it's really one or the other. That's why Bobby Wagner. So that's why he's the best linebacker in the league. That's why Kuechly was so important because we can see it and we get there fast. Sean Lee's of the world, right? But those dudes are special. Ray Lewis, Ravens. Well, this is for everybody, not just Ravens. So when I watch Dion Henley, he's a dude that sees it and he gets there fast. That's what makes me a fan of him. Drew Sanders is interesting. Drew Sanders is interesting because I feel like when you have a generational player, everybody starts to try to follow that trend, So, what's my man's from Clemson a couple years ago? The safety linebacker, Isaiah Simmons, right? Isaiah Simmons. So prior to that, we didn't have a whole bunch of hybrid safety linebacker pass rusher dudes. Since he's existed, every year it's 3, 4, 5 hybrid, and some of them go to Clemson, right? We'll talk about him in a minute. These hybrid safety linebacker guys, right? They exist every single year. That's happening with Micah Parsons, right? Micah Parsons is big dude. He's 250 big dude, 6'5", whatever. But he's faster than everybody. He's your best pass rusher, but he's literally faster than all your corners and running backs. So now, if you a coach, you looking at your team like, all right, y'all go out there and race so I can see which one the fastest. You know what I mean? Now you trying to do something like that to see if you can catch that next wave. Drew Sanders hadn't been a linebacker. He started playing linebacker when Micah started blowing up a little bit, so that makes sense. But what makes Drew Sanders special, if he was just a linebacker, we wouldn't be having conversation about Drew Sanders very early. He makes a lot of mistakes, kind of get lost a little bit, but he had a far white kid. He got some pretty good athleticism, coach, and he got you 9.5 sacks last year.
Sure did.
That makes him different.
The thing about Clemson is, and I don't know if you noticed it or not, but everybody I watched from Clemson, their tape the year before was better than last year. Is Venables that guy? Is Venables that good to make them look that much better? Because you talking about Brian Breesy, what's the Ian Miles
Murphy, Miles
Murphy.
I hate Miles Murphy.
All them cats looked better.
Not
this season just finished, but the season before that with Venables. So I don't know if the coaching or the scheme had them better looking, but those two guys look better, even though they ain't bad, they ain't great, but they ain't, they just look better on the back end. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Coaching matters, 100%. Coaching matters. There's a lot of dudes like that in this draft where their old film and their old film is much better than their current stuff. But that definitely matters here. And Trenton Simpson, look, since we talking about Clemson, he looks like a dude that doesn't have a role right now. You know what I mean? I just do everything. And I don't think he's the athlete that could just do everything. Like, he is an athlete. But on the next level, you got to be great at something. If you're gonna do everything, you got to at least be great at something. Micah does everything. If he had linebacker, he run faster than all y'all. If he had pass rush, he pass rush better than all y'all. Cool. Mike can do everything.
Even when he cover.
Even when he covering wide receivers when he covering. Crazy. But everybody can't do that, right? So you can't be in the National Football League, right? Trent Simpson, let's just say, for example, you can't play safety and linebacker, right? Say you fast enough and you're a good enough linebacker, but if you can't cover, I don't want you playing safety. If you can't cover, what I'm gonna put you at safety for? So he has to be great at all those things. And I don't think that's the case. He'll just be a better will linebacker. Just leave him at that.
All right, we're not going to touch safety because you and I both hate safety. We're going to talk corners and we're going to flip it over. Cornerback. Give me two. If you could take any two guys and line them up and say we stopping you for the next 5 years, what two guys in this draft are those guys for you?
let me tell you something, man. I know we just talked about size, so let me just be phony because I gotta let people know when I'm being phony. Emmanuel Forbes got to be the smallest dude that on anybody field at anybody position. He get it done, though, coach.
That's my guy.
Emmanuel Forbes get it done.
That's
though.
my guy. 14 career picks, 6 pick sixes.
In the SEC. Mm-hmm. In the SEC. Look, you can call him a little bitty. So look, I always talk about this, man. And I was just having this argument on social medias, right? We're gonna come back to Forbes. DeJuan Jones, right? DeJuan Jones, one of my favorite offensive linemen, but he like 370. Mm-hmm. But Vaj, he big and his feet slow. Does he lose?
They let him get his hands on you.
Because arm length, right? He's good. He's great at something. Arm length takes away all that. Does he lose? Well, Vaj, he don't lose, but he's 370. Does he lose? He don't. I'm big on the end result. I'm big on the final product, right? Yep. Emmanuel Forbes is 166 pounds. You're not bullying him, though.
Sure ain't.
You ain't picking on him. You're not gonna beat him in the air. You're not gonna take the ball from him.
Nope.
I'm watching Emmanuel Forbes at 166. I say, shit, let him fall to the second round if he's that small. Let me take him. I'll take him, coach. And I'm looking at Emmanuel Forbes, bro, and I'm just like, man, if that dude's gonna fall because teams overthink stuff like this all the time, and teams suck at drafting. Yep. They'll rather take the kid from Maryland, right? Banks. They'll rather take Banks or whatever. But Forbes a much better cover guy than Banks.
Yeah.
But Banks may fit their profile better, so they'll draft him. Forbes better player, coach.
Banks would check their boxes.
Yep.
Forbes did it in the SEC, which I personally have an SEC bias because we know that's the junior NFL. Even though there's some buzz come out there, but that's junior NFL. Yep. And to kind of piggyback off your Jones point, just go back and look at the Georgia game. If it's not for the work of Paris on one side and Jones on the other, CJ Stroud don't do the things he do.
Yep.
Because he was winning constantly in that Georgia game.
Oh man, the dude I was arguing with, coach, he said, "Well, go watch the Georgia game. DeJuan Jones got beat consistent." I said, "Boy, let me go ahead and quit arguing. You ain't even watch that game,
right?
You ain't watch that game."
He was the reason CJ Stroud was able to put up the numbers. Well, him and Marvin Harrison, but Paris and DeJuan kept people off of CJ Stroud and allowed him to do that stuff. And against Georgia, you can't do it against a better team. So I'm good with DeJuan Jones. But who your second corner?
Hey man, we were in a 4-3 press man cover 2, Joey Porter Jr. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because we always see him as the one that kind of falls in the mocks, right? Because it's always Gonzalez, it's always Witherspoon, and we thought that Porter was in that group with them, to where it was just, hey, whatever kind of dude you like. But we've been seeing Porter kind of fall in the mocks lately, and that could be because like if I'm a cover 3 team, I'd rather have somebody that's better at cover 3 than have somebody that's better at press man. But I feel like Porter could do everything though. Just in my personal opinion, I think Porter could do everything. So he's falling. I'll take him too. Yeah, I'll take him too.
I know your film evaluation. Did you happen to watch the game with Purdue and Penn State?
Purdue, Joey Porter versus
Charlie Jones.
Charlie Jones, so good. Charlie Jones. So let me tell you something. I tweeted a couple weeks ago. I said, watch Charlie Jones be like just low key one of the best dudes in the class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he came out the combine, ran that 40. He looked good. Catch. He don't drop nothing.
Nope.
He don't drop nothing. And look, you can't. I don't know why there's not more people. And this is where people lie on their film watching. You can't watch Joey Porter and then be like, oh, I'm gonna watch Purdue, and you just don't see Charlie Jones.
That's what happened to me, Vach. That is what happened to me. I was watching on my Patreon, watching Joey Porter, and they were playing Purdue, and Charlie Jones just stood out. A couple of my Patreons were watching with me, and they fell in love with Charlie Jones just like I did.
Yep. That's how. If you watch film organically, if you really a film dude like that, that's how you find Charlie Jones. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And then the more film you watch on, you go, hey man, Charlie been busting these boys up, man. What's going on? You know what I mean? Route runner. Combine showed he can run, but I love his hands, man. I love his hands, and he's not a small dude. You know what I mean? Like Charlie, like what, 6'1", 6'1", or something like that. Something like that.
One play in particular that stood out. He ran an over route, and Joey Porter was all over him. Like Porter let him go across the middle. When the ball was thrown, Porter accelerated past him to try to get to it. He ran past Charlie. And I don't know, the quarterback was kind of threw it behind him. Yeah. Porter was all over him, and he still caught the ball. I don't know how.
Crazy.
His hands is nuts. Now, eventually, Porter will start to get the best of him later on in that game, and they had to put him on the other side.
Because Porter, right.
Yeah,
right.
But Charlie's gonna be that deal. Charlie's gonna have a long career. He may bounce around a bunch of teams because they don't value him as like a top tier guy. But he's gonna be that while. He's gonna be Hunter Renfrow part 2.
Where you draft him at?
Me personally,
I say late 3rd, maybe in the early 4th.
Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there, depending on like, and if he get in that spot, he gonna go to a good team.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
he go to a good team, so he gonna be in a good position. He gonna go to a team that's probably already got an established quarterback
in Kansas City or something, man. Kansas City.
and can work his skill set. He'll go with a coach that knows his skill set. Yeah. And Purdue used him wrong. He's not an outside guy.
Nah, put him in the slot, man. Put him in the slot.
Put him in the slot and watch him work. All right, let's flip over to our side of the ball. Offense. That's what we love. And you talked about Dwayne Jones. Is there another tackle that you really love out there?
So Darnell Wright, it's been a lot of conversation about him, right? Tennessee. And lately there's been some new rumors of him coming out and they're like, oh, well, we're gonna put Darnell Wright at guard. And I'm like, man, me watching this film, I never saw him as a guard. You know what I'm saying? Because I just see, he's 330 for sure, and he'll be good at guard. Nasty, strong, good size, good movement or whatever. But I love technique. I love nuance, especially as an offensive line guy, right? So I see Darnell Wright like baiting with his hands, pulling cloth. You know what I'm saying? Running guys outward, and then if you just run down his list of just dudes he whooped. Kansas, because Kansas ain't big enough. BJ Ojulari, who's a dude that's probably gonna go high second, and Will Anderson. A couple years ago, when I was talking about Rashawn Slater, they didn't like when Vouch was coming out here vouching for Rashawn. Vouch, why you like Rashawn Slater so much? Rashawn Slater can have one sentence on his resume. He's like, man, I whooped Chase Young.
Yep.
If he got one thing on his resume, I whooped Chase Young. You can believe that Rashawn Slater is going to be a guy based on that. Darnell Wright, Will Anderson, huh? Yeah. That's what he say. That was his Will Anderson, colon, huh? Question mark, exclamation. That's what he gonna put on his resume. Will Anderson did nothing versus Darnell Wright, dog. So if it's a guy, you asking me who the top tackle is, well, who faced the best competition? Who faced the best competition? Who smoked them? And who has more versatility? And who has the best size? And who's the most powerful? Who can move? Darnell Wright, check all the boxes, man.
We keep talking about Will, and I know I'm flip-flopping. But I like right behind Will or close to Will. I like the kid from Texas Tech.
Yeah. So Tyree Wilson, so look, he good too. It's just, are you floor guy or are you ceiling guy? Tyree just don't know how to play football just yet. And this is
his explosiveness is off the chain.
Coach, so as an old lineman, I watch him, and sometimes what helps me with grading pass rushes and D linemen, and I think I'm better at grading them because they was my ops once upon a time. You know what I mean? Like wide receivers get good at breaking down corners like that because that's just what they go against. And I stopped and tried to figure out how I would block Tyree. Right. And I just kept thinking that he would make me tall because as an offensive lineman, you can't be tall. Like you bend at your knees, not at your waist, hands in the holster, and you need to be back. Right. That's how we're powerful. Tyree will make me stand up because he's so tall. Right. And then if I try to punch and extend with Tyree, yes, I'm off balance and I'm leaning because he's also strong. So I'm kind of leaning a little bit, but his arms are longer than mine. So he can little brother me. He can put his hand on my head. I'm trying to do this to him. He can little brother me. So if you're an offensive lineman, you want bending your elbows, right? Because how can you punch if your arm's straight out, right? So you need some bend so we can punch. You need bend in your knees so you can be down and we can explode forward. Tyree makes you tall. He makes your arms fully extended. How do you block that guy?
Because if you don't, you putting your hands around his waist.
Yes, and you're definitely strong there.
And the same thing that Tyree does defensively is what the one would do to you offensively.
Yes.
Because when you go to put your hand in his midpoint and he put both of his arms on you, your hand is just flailing at Jersey. It's floating. Then he throws your face into the ground. And lays on you at 380. And a couple times, he ain't gonna pass rush his hole.
So the thing about Tyree is, can you teach him enough technique to because he has no clue how to use that properly, right? Like he just know how to be bigger and taller than everybody else, but he ain't really got a black belt in it yet. When did he get a black belt and my arms is longer than you? Right. Wait till he get a black belt and I'm 6'7", sir. and I'm explosive, and I'm strong.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to you. Wait till he really, and that's the only reason why I got Will Anderson over him. Tyree just don't know. Tyree just don't know how to do it yet. And Tyree may or may not be work hard guy. See, we don't know that. All we got is film. And Tyree got to be able to put in that work. Like Aaron Donald is a natural freak, but he go to Africa to knife fight so his hands can be swift. You know what I mean? I want Tyree to fly to Uganda some shit. You know what I mean? I want him to fly somewhere to learn how to be tall.
Right.
I want him to call Dow Sim. You know what I'm saying? For man, when you go yoga flame and in your arm, how I do that? I want him to take another sport. I want him to go play tennis. I want him to go learn jujitsu. Hey, Tyree, why you go learn jujitsu? I want to learn how to reach somebody over here. I want to reach somebody back from the other side of their body and do all this with my arms. So I can learn how to use my arms. When Tyree know how to do that, it's curtains then. Because look, Nolan Smith knows how to do that. He just not as long as Tyree, right? Will McDonald, who has long arms, knows how to do that.
Yep.
It's just not a lot. It's Tyree, DeJuan Jones, and John Jones for the longest arms in the world. Tyree, DeJuan Jones, John Jones. Them the three.
Slide in the guard. Is Osiris your guy?
No.
Who's your guy?
Can I hate on Osiris a little bit before I move on?
You sure can.
Let me just for everybody listening, man. One thing that we can't do is we can't have lazy analysis by just looking at a player and just thinking a thing, right? Because if you look at Jack Campbell, you'll think that he can't run. You'll think he can't run fast because he's a white guy. If you look at DeJuan Jones, you'll think he don't move that fast because he's a big guy, right? Just certain biases we have. You would think that Zay Flowers is only a slot guy because he's a little bitty, but he could play X and flanker if he want to. So I don't want people to get lazy with their preconceived draft evaluation, right? People look at Osiris Torrance and they say, oh, well, he's big and he's strong and he's a mauler and he's heavy. Well, he's two of those things. He is big and he's heavy, right?
He's not a mauler.
I don't see Osiris mauling nobody.
Fair.
I don't see Osiris mauling nobody. And I watch all the because I get petty with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll watch 2 games. I'm like, I don't see it. Then I'll watch 2 more. If I still don't see it, I'll go to the internet talking shit. I'm like, hey, can anybody show me the film where Osiris mauled somebody so I can go watch it real quick? You know me, coach. And I try to be as right as possible. Mm-hmm. I went back to his ULL film.
Yep.
Because I was like, man, maybe in Florida they just getting rid of the ball too quick. You know what I mean? He ain't getting a chance to maul nobody. He ain't maul nobody in the ULL film either. However, coach, hold on. It gets better. You cut on some Darnell Wright, you're going to see him mauling people, don't you?
Mm-hmm. You do.
Have you seen Voorhees from USC?
Yep.
Voorhees maul people, don't he? Have you seen Mafia from UCLA?
Yep.
Shit, coach. If you cut on Mafia, you don't even need a highlight tape of him. You just need to let 10 plays run. A body going to hit the floor somewhere.
The same thing happened with him as happened with Charlie Jones. I was watching DTR because I love DTR.
Mm-hmm.
And he stood out. He stood out because what Chip runs is kind of similar to what we ran in high school, and what I know. And so I know what's supposed to be going on in Chip's offense for the most part. Mm-hmm. And him doing the technique stuff that he was doing, the double teams, the getting the second level, the hooks, the J-step and getting on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Teams like that, I know what I'm looking at. And when they do it right, it stands out. And so he's one of the guys that stood out.
If you watch Charbonnet, you can't help.
Yep.
You can't help but to see what the left guard is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But nasty, strong bodies are hitting the floor. Why don't I see that with Osiris, coach?
Mm-hmm. But we call him Chardonnay over here. But I know you're talking about. Go ahead.
Chardonnay. Listen, and we want to talk about the best guys versus the best guys, man. Jalen Carter gave that boy a hard time, man. Jalen Carter gave that boy a hard time. But coach, I don't recommend nobody doing like pity favors, right? like watching Osiris, like, okay, cool. I'm about to grade Osiris, but not count his Jalen Carter. We don't do that.
Okay.
We don't do that. That's part of the film. Because look, if you draft Osiris, like, hey, can he whip Jalen Carter? No. Well, shit, we're gonna put Jalen Carter right over. If you draft Osiris and I got Jalen Carter and you got Osiris, I'm putting Jalen Carter right over on top of Osiris. And I want you to do something about it.
It's a league. Well, I ain't gonna say it's a league full, but it's a bunch of Jalen Carters in the NFL right now.
It's plenty of, and Osiris ain't Ain't. All right, go.
All right, let's move to the. You mentioned Chardonnay.
Mhm.
Who I'm gonna tell you my favorite running back, and you tell me
Mhm.
yours. Mine is Tajay Spears, I think it is, the kid from Tulane.
Man, Tajay so good, man. Tajay Spears so good. Man, hold on, man. Before I go, Tajay so good. So, everybody was telling me watching versus USC.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, why would I watch Tulane versus USC? I'm not watching no damn I at least would like it makes sense to watch Tulane versus like another Tulane type like Troy or something. I'll watch that.
Keep in mind, Alcorn, he ain't had but like 15 yards versus Alcorn.
They probably pulled him right back out or something, or they just
Probably.
shut him down.
I don't know. When I looked at the stats, I knew they played him. He only had like 15 yards.
Tajay by himself putting hands all over the USC kids. They couldn't catch him. They couldn't find him. They couldn't his vision was good. His patience was good. He wasn't running over people in a powerful way, but he'll just keep his feet moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He'll just keep running his feet and you wouldn't be able to tackle him.
If your form wasn't correct, you wouldn't tackle him.
The only thing that I hated about what Tulane would do towards the end of the game when it kind of turned into a shootout, Tajay ended up blocking a lot. And cool, I throw the ball to Tajay.
Yep.
Because every time you did something, because every time you gave Tajay the ball, something good happened. Yeah. I was mad that Tulane at that point in the game when it got into a shootout, hey man, throw the ball to Tajay and let something good happen, dog.
Yep. Tell you what happened to me. I was doing timestamps on plays that I could potentially put in a video.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of early timestamps. But as that game went on and came to a shootout, the timestamps kind of got spread out. Like, I mean, why he ain't touching the ball no more?
You blocking, yeah.
But he had the block, because they want to throw the ball. But still, they'd have found a way to give him the ball, even if you got to put him at your slot receiver. Find a way to get him out there.
You get you a fullback out there. You let him block every single play. If you ain't trying to switch it up and be, be mysterious or not, like if Tajay's is gonna block every play, man, put an offensive line back there and let Tajay go out there and run his routes, man.
Exactly.
Good playing.
Exactly. And everybody talk about Bijan. Is that
okay, so I can't talk about Bijan.
You can't. No, you can. I just was wondering if that was your guy. Go ahead, because Bijan. I'm gonna defend myself. Do I think Bijan is better than Tajay? Yes. Yeah. I just really like Tajay. But go ahead.
Really? Yeah. Dwayne McBride from UAB is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne McBride from UAB is so good. And, if you just watch him versus the teams that UAB play regularly, yeah, he going to run over them and whoop them. But let me tell you the best Dwayne McBride game to watch is go watch him versus Georgia. Go watch him versus Georgia. And them Georgia kids are smoking the boots on these UAB kids. It ain't even close. Sometimes they just, hey, we going to schedule this game to warm Georgia up and just make some money for UAB. That's what it was.
Money game.
That's what it was. And the offensive line was just outclassed. But you know what McBride did anyway? Ran hard, ran over everybody, ran through the best D line in college football and got a smooth 68 yards, 4.8 yards a carry.
And for him, that even though it don't sound a lot, but versus the opponent,
man,
that's good for him. That's good.
Your JV offensive line versus a college team.
Right.
And you get 60 versus an NFL defense, and you got a terrible off. You still get 68 yards. That's a damn good day. That's 600 points, man.
That's 200.
Yeah.
That translation, that's 200 yards.
Basically,
equal O line, D line. That's 200 yards for you.
So I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of A-Chain, big fan of Tajay and all that. Kendre Miller was a real fun watch. You know what I'm saying? He had some. I want to say Le'Veon Pittsburgh, but like Le'Veon Michigan State, where he was still fat a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Before the hesitation.
Before the hesitation, some of that was in him. You know what I mean? And so I'm a big fan of those guys. Tank Bigsby was a guy that kind of let me down a little bit because I was watching him and I feel like he ran into danger. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that his Auburn offensive line probably wouldn't. That what he do. That what he do. Yes, sir. I'm like, man, look. If you run and counter, man, follow your kick and rap guy.
Yep.
But he'll just run into some D lineman that's getting down blocked over here. I'm like, man, Tajay, man. I mean, not Tajay. Tank. If you just keep your eyes open and go where the play tells you to play, you'll go to prosperity.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think he gets into that. You remember Devin Singletary when he was trying to be a shifty dude? You know what I mean? He kind of tried to do that a little bit, man. But if you just really put your head down and follow your guys, you're good.
Like I was watching Hard Knocks a couple years ago when Anthony Lynn was on there, and they had a kid from the school I work at now that was a running back, and he told that kid was like 6'2", probably like 230, 240. He was like, "You a tank, run like a tank. Stop trying to be a sports car. You are not a sports car. Put your head down, follow the blockers, and do that. You'll be successful." Smart. And that kind of alluded to what you were talking about with Tank. Your name Tank.
Yeah. Be one. Go kart Bigsby.
On outside, your receivers. That's my baby.
Yeah.
I got a couple guys that I really like. A couple guys I think overhyped.
Can I guess who you like a whole bunch?
Go ahead.
What you think about Mingo? You don't like Mingo?
I love that motherfucker. Man.
Oh, okay, cool. Cause look, let me tell you what. I was watching Mingo, right? I was like, okay, so look, he run routes, all right, cool. Deep ball, cool. Like he got hit with a corner one time, beat him some more, caught the ball late, because quarterback caught the ball late, burnt the rest of the defense. And coach, he did something else, man. I just boy, he started blocking.
What?
Boy, he started blocking. I said, oh boy, Coach Ever gonna love that. He started blocking, coach.
Hey.
And I said, whoo, that's my wide receiver, Mingo, my wide receiver 4, coach.
I think that's where he is with me too.
Yep.
I think I gotta go back and look at my list, but he's up there.
Yeah,
he's up there. The name I thought you was gonna call was Hyatt. So let me tell you who Hyatt reminds me of.
Who's that?
One of your old teammates.
Richardson.
Yep.
Rico Richardson.
He reminds me so much of Rico.
Yep.
Skinny,
I get it. Skinny, fast. Inside, outside. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can see that now that you say it though. Now that you say that though. And just look at us talk. You know what I mean? Rico probably had a little more versatility in him. You know what I'm saying? He does.
Well, we don't know.
Yes,
because of the system. That's the knock. That's the knock on how the Tennessee system. They actually run like 3-4 routes.
But listen, why don't we say that about Tillman though?
I don't like Tillman.
Okay, tell me why.
For maybe I need to go back and watch the year before. I didn't watch it. Yeah.
Watch 2021 Tillman. Okay. Don't watch 2022 Tillman is terrible. Because I said the same thing when I first watched him. I was like, yo, this dude is terrible. But 2021 Tillman, really, really good. Gets off the line of scrimmage, physical, catches the rock, jump over guys. He don't fight the ball. The ball never gets to it. He blocks. You know what I mean? Go watch 2021 Tillman. I didn't. Okay, yeah, do that. I mean,
and that's probably why
he ain't Jonathan Mingo in that. You know what I'm saying?
Mingo. He's fast enough.
We talk about Mingo.
Bro, let me tell you what Mingo reminds me. All right, so I'm gonna take you back a little bit.
Okay.
I personally had to deal with when I left Natchez and went to Columbus. I personally in that first season had to deal with DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and what's the D tackle from Tennessee? From the Titans, Jeffrey Simmons, all in the same season. And what Mingo reminds me of is AJ Brown.
Yeah,
and not just the number one at Ole Miss. Because if you press him, he's gonna get off you. If you play off of him, he can take a hitch or a slant and do what he needs to do on that.
Yep.
If you mess around and miss the tackle, because he hard to tackle. If you mess around and miss the tackle, he gonna outrun everybody else.
Yep.
He ain't this tall, super tall dude, but he got springs. He got springs. To me, he's the perfect blend of everything.
Yep.
And I would love that guy because not only he won't be limited to just outside too.
Yeah.
30 minute slot. He can run you some whip routes.
Yep.
He can run you that little quick twitchy stuff that the slot receivers need to do. And we mentioned Charlie Jones earlier.
Yeah.
Mingo could do everything Charlie could do.
Yeah.
His hands may not be as A1. His hands may be A2.
Yeah.
Compared to Charlie.
Yeah.
He can do everything Charlie can do and a more athletic body.
So when I talk to people about Mingo, they say that he's inconsistent. I'm like, man, that's quarterbacking offense, bro. You know what I mean? That's like how you using him. You know, like tell me how you use him. And if you look at his game log, he only got like 4 catches a game, but that ain't his fault. Because look, it'll be plenty plays. It'll be plenty play. I mean, I got some film. I can show some film on your show.
Yeah.
Man, I got some, man. I got some Mingo plays, man. I was like, man, if the quarterback simply just didn't miss right here, right? Like if the quarterback just held this ball one less tick, Mingo would be good to go, man. Hold up, I got some film, man. Got some film on Coach Show Day. Hold on, man. We ain't doing nothing else, bro. We ain't doing nothing else. Let me see. I gotta. I'm gonna go to present, screen share, and window. Mingo. Cool. Yeah.
Let me add it. Add the stream. There we go.
Man, I just be watching Mingo, coach, and it's just like whatever you ask him to do.
Look
Boom.
how crisp that was.
Come on, man.
You look out that break.
Dropping them hips.
You see the hips drop.
Dropping them hips, ladies and gentlemen. 6'2", dropping his hips, getting out of there.
The thing I love about it is look where he breaks and look where he catches the ball. He comes back down the hill to protect the ball, to protect the throw. He breaks at the 23, but catches at the 24. That's protecting your QB right there.
Man. And you know, man, the more plays you just watch of him, coach, where he up top.
At top.
And the more plays you just watch of him, coach, you just go, hey man, just give it to him and just let him do something. Just give it to him and just let him fight for yours. Let him whoop up on people. Just let him be physical. And coach, there's a such thing as wearing down DBs. I don't think Ole Miss used him in that way. I feel like if
look at the blocking.
Go.
Not only that, they use him in my video about him. I got 3 plays on him blocking, and that is one of the plays.
There you go. You already know. You know I got you. I feel like if Ole Miss would have given him more volume. Come on, man. If Ole Miss, right. Come on, Cole. Great minds, man.
But the thing is, on that play right there, he had been cracking that linebacker all game.
Yeah.
And not half cracking like just going there patting his feet. He was they ran a toss and he sealed them.
Yeah.
So they had to come down and respect it.
Yeah. That's what I was saying about Mingo, man, when I was writing about him, is he don't block like a receiver, man. You know how like some receivers block like receivers? Like he blocks well. Hey, bro, don't come in half tackling me. Hold on.
Right.
Bro, listen, man. Bro, don't half tackle me, man. And then then he outruns them.
Everybody.
I
know people gonna say that's Vanderbilt. It's still SEC. I got 2 kids at Vanderbilt right now, and they run like the wind. So they got talent on that team.
That's SEC, man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like Vanderbilt can go to Big Ten and whoop up on them. You know what I mean? This ain't.
And that's a young quarterback's dream right there. I just raise up and throw the ball, and I get 8 yards out of it. Like you had a play earlier was similar to that. It was a now screen. It ended up being a 12-yard game.
Yeah. This Vanderbilt too.
Nope.
This Vanderbilt too. Ball tracking, coach. Come on, man. Come on, man. Tracking. Hands out late. Come on, man. Man, listen, coach.
He's the guy, man. He's the guy.
It's one play in particular I'm looking for to where he just smoked the dude in front of him and his quarterback just threw it late or something like that. Anyway, we ain't got to keep on doing. I don't want to take over your show, man. But we are bonding.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Now that you did this,
yeah.
At least when draft season restarts next year, we at least got to get a couple in when we watching the same dude and talking about it.
Yeah, let's do it for sure. 100%. I agree. Let's do that.
Cool. Lastly, we'll talk about these QBs.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm just gonna simply ask you, like, what's your top 4? Top 5. Give me your top 5.
Levis ain't good, man. Levis ain't good. So I'll just be nice and put him 5th. And I'm not watching like Tanner McKee. I'm not watching the kid from Houston and all those other, you know what I'm saying? So I'll just be nice and put Levis at 5. All right, cool, whatever. Hendon Hooker's better than Levis. So Hendon Hooker's 4. The first 3 is where I have some problems. Because Bryce Young puts out the best consistent product out of all of them. I seen the National Football League fix Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. I know they can take Anthony Richardson and make him great. Look at what CJ Stroud did to Georgia.
Yep.
Those are my main 3 talking points with all those guys. You know what I mean? Bryce Young, SEC, consistently beating up on them boys until he reached Georgia, whatever. But he consistently, you know what I mean? Alabama thing, whatever. Why we gotta go straight to Pat Mahomes when we talk about these guys? Like why Bryce Young can't be like Matt Hasselbeck or something? Why you gotta
because that's the NFL is changing to the mobile quarterback, and not necessarily the runner like Lamar, but you got to be able to move. Because I mean, Joe can move, Pat can move, Herbert can move. We know Lamar can move. Justin Fields is about to blow y'all minds. He can move.
Brady's the last guy. Brady and maybe Jameis are the last dudes that just can't run. You know what I mean?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
But younger Aaron Rodgers can move a little bit.
Yep, for sure.
Right now he's standing still, but this is who I got. And Levis ain't in my top 5.
He probably shouldn't be. I just haven't watched enough quarterbacks. You know what I mean? I got mine.
I got CJ at 1, and you don't have to give me yours. So I know you probably got a list of some coming out next week. I got CJ at 1.
Okay.
I got Bryce at 2. I got AR at 3. Hendon Hooker at 4, and I got DTR at 5.
Because if DTR is in your offense, you would know exactly how to use them. Yep. Legs. You know exactly how to use them, and he's deadly when he's running.
Yep,
he's deadly when he's running for sure. And look, so just like you said, hey, I've seen teams fix Jalen Hurts. I've seen teams fix Josh Allen. Just don't ask Dorian Thompson Smith Robinson. There you go. Just don't ask him to throw all the nuanced stuff.
Right.
Throw the open people.
Yep.
Scheme stuff open. Let him run. I can see a path where he's successful. 100%, Coach. You ain't wrong there.
And the thing is with him is let him be a runner.
Yeah.
Year 2, run less. Year 3, I mean, and I'm not saying he's gonna start right now because he probably gonna start on nobody's team right now. But year 1, he just be raw.
Yeah.
If 1 ain't there, maybe look at 2 and run.
Yeah.
In year 2, you got 1, 2, then run. Year 3, now you can scan the whole field.
Yeah.
By the time we ready to make you a starter, you're ready.
They were saying that last year was the year that the most quarterbacks had ever played. So like starters and backups, they said like 45 quarterbacks played or something like that. So every team has to give a hard look at quarterback too, and not just look at it like a whatever position, because you may be stuck with a Brock Purdy, you may be stuck with a Bailey Zappi. You know what I mean? You may have one of those guys. So I think there's a lot of nuance that comes with quarterback too, because if you the Ravens and your primary quarterback is Lamar Jackson, you wouldn't want to get like you probably could get a big arm gunslinger guy because your OC is a gunslinger guy. He's a passer now. But hey, man, go watch that UCLA film, bro. Like there's a role here. There's a role that makes sense here. So if you were to lose, because everybody worry about Lamar Jackson getting hurt, if you were to lose Lamar Jackson, bring this runner in and let him run around till Lamar come back. So I'm with you on that.
And they tried to do that with Snoop, and Snoop has been, matter of fact, Snoop made the Pro Bowl. While I ain't finna hate on him because he made the Pro Bowl. No matter how you made it, you made it, and that can go on his resume.
Get that check.
Exactly. But let me see. We hit everything. So man, I appreciate you doing this for me. Taking your time out on this good Tuesday afternoon.
What about tight end? Did you watch tight end?
Oh yes, I watched tight ends.
Okay.
And I got 3 guys.
Okay.
But I'm gonna let you talk about yours. Talk about the guys that you love.
Darnell Washington's so good, man.
What?
Darnell Washington's so good, man.
What do you think about the talk of him moving to tackle?
That's nonsense. Leave him where he at. Leave him where he at. Because look, if you move him to tackle, it takes away it takes away mismatches. Right? So Darnell. And look, man, we offensive guys, we offensive scheme guys, play calls and things like that. If I got a tight end that can block a defensive end, I got 6 solid blockers every time. I got 6. You know what I can do with pass protection when I got 6 solid blockers every time? And then you start to account for the idea I got 6 solid blockers every time. But then he run a 4-6 and you can't catch him for real because you didn't account for the idea that this ain't heavy. This base. This base. This ain't heavy. It could be heavy if I wanted to be heavy.
That's why Monken was so good with him last year.
I'm putting Darnell Washington. I'm letting him run over these little bitty children, and I'm running right behind them.
And the little bit of Monken I've watched before I start my detail on him, but since he for the Ravens now, but all he did was work mismatches.
Yeah.
And everybody, hung up on his 2 tight end thing, but he had the ultimate mismatches with Washington and the 19 kid.
This is why I think so good about Darnell. You know, football ain't nothing but a cycle anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Football has cycled into small linebackers now. Hey, dog, don't let me get Darnell Watch on the little bit of linebackers, dog. I'm gonna make your linebackers get big again. You see what I'm saying? So there may be tight ends better than him, but his skill set in particular, I can reverse football again and make you go back to 260-pound Mike linebackers. And if you don't, we gonna coach. I was watching did you watch the Auburn game, Georgia versus Auburn?
Yep. I've seen all the Georgia games. That's the edge guy.
Edge guy. Derek Hall lined up between Broderick and Darnell. He wanted to quit. He didn't want to be there no more. He wanted to take his jersey off and go kick or something. Hey, Cole, I'm tired, man. I'm tired, man. What the other Cole? And just if you just we talking about luxury pick, whatever. If you got a tackle and a guard that's nasty already, that's a hell of a wall just to be talking about some. And then he has upside to be a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you kidding me, man? But that's one though. Well, go ahead. Tell me.
I like the kid from Notre Dame as far as a receiving guy.
Yeah.
Now I don't necessarily like his blocking skill set, and the fact that he played at Notre Dame kind of keeps me sketchy because I don't really trust them guys.
Yeah.
But I like him also. I'm trying to think of the other dude.
Okay, so Liz, I got this question for you, right?
Go ahead.
2 tight ends, Dalton Kincaid and Luke Musgrave.
Mm-hmm.
People call Dalton Kincaid a receiving tight end. Do we call him a receiving tight end just because he can't block? Or is he a receiving tight end because he's a true like because when you watch Luke Musgrave, Musgrave's footwork, movement, releases, that is all wide receiver like. Kincaid ain't got that.
Ain't got that.
Kincaid got hands. Kincaid can run some routes a little bit, but Musgrave got the movement. He got the wide receiver starter kit. Watching Musgrave made me look at Kincaid and go, man, you ain't no wide receiver for real. You just a big ass non-blocking tight end.
Hey, the tight end, man, you got to be considered a receiving tight end.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to have hands, but like you said, you need to have the wide receiver starter pack, or your receiving your blocking game is just that much trash, and they trying to get you up the board.
They just trying to move you around. Yeah. What about Crab, Tucker Crab? Did you watch him?
I haven't seen Tucker Crab. No, have not.
Tucker Crab fun. Watch him for Thursday. Tucker Crab fun. And the rest of them, I mean, you know, Laporta good. Davis Allen caught 16 passes.
One of them gonna be on y'all team.
One of them, and that's only because look, I hate tight end. I hate tight end for real. But Cowboys drafting one of them. It's way too obvious. Cowboys drafting one of them. Yep. So I just got to make myself privy to you. Have you seen Zach Kuntz? This is the last one I asked about Zach Kuntz.
Heard but not seen. No.
You don't worry about it. Zach, so they gonna look at him. They gonna call him a receiving tight end, but he just can't block. He probably run the fastest. You know, vertical, broad jump, all that is. But he's 6'8", so he don't turn good. You know what I mean? So he is a big wide receiver that run like this, like this is dig.
He like a banana.
Everybody else dig is this shit go.
He ran a banana route.
He ran. His dig is a wheel route into a post into a dig. You know what I mean? So nah, man. You know, you can watch Cones if you want to, man. But there's some good tight ends in this class and I think the tight end class is so deep that you probably shouldn't take a tight end early. But you know, that's up to y'all.
Got it. And again, I'm sure pretty much everybody knows how to find you. But for those that don't, let them know where to find your channel and what you're doing on a daily basis.
Man, appreciate y'all on the daily. I'm on 2 YouTube channels, Vach Lombardi and The Volume. Y'all right there, VOCHLOMBARDI and The Volume, like, you know, The Volume. I go live Monday through Thursday. I do have a lot of cowboy talk, but in draft season, I belong to everybody. I do have my dedicated draft show, so tune in and we break down mock drafts every Thursday. And if you want to see me just arguing some of these miscellaneous points, you just catch me on Twitter. At Vach Lombardi and my patreon.com/Vach Lombardi. All the film that we've talked about, all the points that I'm making to you, I've probably done that in live action on Patreon. So check me out at patreon.com/Vach Lombardi. Appreciate you, coach. Salute.
And for those that don't know, I'm froze. But
damn,
you kind of see where my channel kind of gets the direction from. This is my guy. He put me on, encouraged me to do this, and that's kind of where we go. He's the inspiration for the Daily Show. Watch the film breakdown. Watch. Yeah. Anytime I go to him and need a favor or need some advice, he's there. So you know, we ain't got to go into the story. Everybody knows that he played for me and whatnot, so we can rehash that. But I just want to say thank you, give you your flowers while you up, and I'm trying to follow in your footsteps. I want to be like you when I get grown.
We're gonna make it, man. We're gonna make it. Bro, appreciate you, man. Salute.
I appreciate it.
Sir.
Let me end it.